We've got Ilgar Zarbaliyev coming in. Ilgar is a training program manager at Novum LLC, a Microsoft MVP, and MCT regional lead for the Central and Eastern Europe region. With over 20 years of experience in data analysis and business intelligence, Ilgar specializes in leveraging Microsoft 365 and Power BI to provide strategic insights and drive business success. He's currently pursuing a postgraduate degree in AI and machine learning at the Texas McComb School of Business and is an ambassador for the European Training Foundation, promoting innovative and educational practices. Ilgar is also the founder of Excel World, OU, where he organizes data-centric events like My Data Summit and shares his expertise through Excel and Power BI templates. So Ilgar is going to be doing a live presentation for us on mastering DAX table functions, advanced techniques, and practical applications. Okay, take it away, Ilgar. I'm going to bring you in now.
Thank you very much. First of all, you pronounced my name and surname very correctly. I congratulate you. That was
Thank
great.
You.
I hope it's actually early morning time in Azerbaijan. So good morning, everybody. It's a great honor to be here. And I want to extend my sincere thanks to the event organizers. And I know that how much effort goes into making like this happen. And I will do my best to cover everything that I have planned for this session. So let's get started. So with your permission, I would like to share my screen and go on.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. So yes. So in this session, in 15-minute session, I'm going to talk about DAX functions, and I will try to demonstrate how to implement all these functions in real life. And here, what I would like to cover in this session, so it will be about DAX table functions, and then I will demonstrate how to build calendar with a little bit different way using generate and also row function. And then I will demonstrate how to use calculate versus, with user relationship function. Then I will go on with calculate versus all. And at the end, I will try to cover time intelligence functions, including dates in period and date add function, right? So in DAX table function, I will try to cover filter, calculate table values, distinct, add columns, cross join all, generate and row function. And regarding calendar building, I will use DAX calendar function, add columns, generate, and row. And also, in this part of my session, I'm talking about calculate versus user relationship. I will demonstrate how to build a table visual where I will display dates, total sold quantity, and total shipped quantity. Just writing DAX function, DAX formula related to user relationship. And also in the other part of calculate related session, I will try to use to implement all the necessary possible cases related to all function with calculate. Okay, so regarding time intelligence functions, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, it will be about dates and dates in date and also dates in period function. And here I will try to build, moving averages using related, DAX functions, right? So as for me, my name is Ilgar Zarbaliyev. I'm data platform MVP and Microsoft certified trainer regional lead for Central and Eastern European countries. I'm coming from this beautiful country called Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan means land of fire. It's located on the coast of Caspian Sea. When you are talking about Azerbaijan, it's oil and gas country. It's a place where Eurovision has happened or taken place in 2012. It's a place where first European Games has happened, and it's a place where more than 5 years Formula One races are happening, and it's a place where COP29 event is going to happen. It's related to environmental issues. So let's get started. Now I'm going on. I'm closing my PowerPoint, and I'm going on with this one. My PowerPoint, actually Power BI file. Just before getting started, I would like to give a little bit info about my file. What is about? So just it's very simple. File. Just imagine that I have a very small retail store where I'm selling the necessary clothing, right? So here I have some, dimensional tables like the customers, right? And then I have my D products. Roughly, I have, if you pay attention here, 340 unique or distinct rows, products with product categories, product subcategories, product sizes, brands, colors, so on and so forth, right? And also I have my stores, this dimensional table with store information. So my stores are located in different cities, including Baku, Ganja, Gabala, and Ismaila. These are cities of Baku, right? Okay, then I have, I have built my, a calendar function. So if you pay attention here, using variables, I have just simply created my calendar function. These are going to be deleted because I will demonstrate how to build using the row and generate function. So I'm going to delete them from here. And also I have three factual tables. The first one is F sales, where all sales related transactions are included. Also, I have my F purchasing related transactions are happening here. And also I have my F expenses, table. Fact table, right? Okay, also just for your information, here you can find the measures. Specifically, I'm going to use this one, total sales F, that includes all the sales. And also, I'm going to use this total sold quantity. By times, I will use total purchase quantities. But of course, I will write another measure. So let's go on with our table view, right? Actually, I'm here. Let's click on home. Everything related to DAX begins with the copies, table copying. What does it mean? So actually, it's very easy. We can make a copy. Just let's say that we are going to make copy of this, D products, right? So here I have my D products, right? So I can make a copy of this, table. It's just very simple. So it's enough to click on, new table and just write table copy equals D products and enter. That's it. So here we got another, copy of this table, the products copy. If I select this column, I will see that actually it's included all the rows as does this table, right? The products. Okay. And now I would like, I'm interested in not seeing all the brands, right? Here I have my brands, Adidas, Nike, Puma, and Reebok. So let's say that I'm interested to make a table where I would like to see only Puma. So I can do it. I can do it using just filter function. So once again, I'm clicking at home and I'm saying new table, and I'm going to call this table just table, filter, right? Closing parentheses equals, and I say that just simply I say that filter, right? And here I'm going to include my table. My table is called like the products, comma. And as for filter expression, I'm going to say the products, right? The products, and I'm choosing this one, brand. Equals to, between double quotes, Puma, right? And closing parentheses, enter. Thus, if you pay attention and if we select product, we'll see that we have only 45 rows. So 45 products are coming from Puma brand. And actually, DAX has a great, possibilities, features, or opportunities. It gives us an opportunity to make one thing, to get one result using different kinds of functions. Actually, I can get these results using not only filter function, but I can also use calculate table function, right? So let's do it. Let's do it, right? So I'm going to say new table, and I'm going to call it table, calculate table, closing parentheses, equal, calculate table. Here I'm going to add the product, right? And I say for filter, I'm using once again filter function, and here I say the products, comma the products brand equals to between double quotes Puma, and enter. Thus, the same way, the same result as I got using simply filter function. So question arises here. So in this case, what's the difference between just calculate table and also filter table? So we can answer to this question like this. Filter DAX function is using for more granular, say row by row filtering, say operations. But calculate table function is to modify filter context efficiently and apply broader context level filters. So this is the difference between them, right? So now I'm going on using, I'm going on using, say, select column functions, right? Actually, I have not mentioned in my slide, but select columns also is the next text format I'm going to use, right? So to do it, I'm clicking on new table, right? And I say table select columns, closing parentheses, enter. Select columns gives me an opportunity to select as it's seen in from its name. As it gives me an opportunity to select the necessary columns, right? So I can say that select columns, for example, the products, right? Say that I'm interested in the brands. So I can say I can give I'm giving a name. So I say brand between double quotes, comma. My expression is going to be the product, brand, comma, and then I'm going to add, say, category. For example, between double quotes, I say category and the products, product category, closing parentheses, right? And enter. So if you pay attention here, the overall number of rows, 340, is correct, right? And names have repeated more than one. So this function, select columns function, give me actually all the values. Not depending on the case that it has been, it's going to be repeated or not. So I'm getting the overall picture. So now let's imagine that I'm interested in the distinct values. Unique distinct values of this table. So for this purpose, I'm going to use values function. So let me come here and say new table, and I'm going to table this one, table values. Values is the next function, and I'm saying that values, and I'm going to either include table name or column name, and I'm saying that the product brand, right? Closing parentheses. So I'm getting the list of brands, with the distinct names, right? Nike, Adidas, Puma, and Reebok. Also, we have distinct function, right? So let's change values with distinct. Enter. This function also gives us the same output. So question arises: what's the difference between this distinct and values function? There are two differences. The first one is that when we are using values function and when we are dealing with transactional value, table, and let's say that some, for example, brand values are not in transactional values. In this case, values function will give us null value, right? But distinct will not. This is the first difference. Regarding the second difference, I'm going to show you in upcoming, demonstration. I mean, I will talk about a little bit later, right? Now, let's go on with add columns function. This is the one of the functions that DAX functions that I love more, right? So add columns functions gives us a broader opportunities. I mean, we can build our table, adding some measures or building some columns, so on and so forth. So let's say that new table, and I'm going to call this table like table add columns, and equal, I'm adding add columns. Here I'm going to add my table, right? To add my table, let's say that I'm interested in my product categories. Of course, I'm going to get distinct values of my product categories with their sales. To do it, I'm using values function, and I'm saying the products, product category. I'm closing this values function, comma, and then I'm going to add name for my, column. It's going to be called like sales, right? Comma. And I'm going to add my expression. As I mentioned, I'm going to use my total sales F measure. This is for my sales calculation purpose. So here I'm just simply adding total sales F. Okay, and closing parentheses, right? Comma. So here I'm going to see a table that includes my product, all my product categories, and also with their sales, right? And when I'm using add column function, it automatically thanking to this measure, it's just distributes all the values by product categories. So it means that row context is working here, right? So now let's say that we are interested in adding one more, measure. For example, I can say that comma, and I'm going to add here, say quantity, right? Let's add quantity, comma, and I'm going to use here in this case another measure, right? Total sold quantity, closing parentheses, and enter. You see, it also when I'm using a measure, row context is working properly, right? Now let's do a little bit. Let's follow a little bit different way. For example, here I'm going to delete these. You see, I'm going to delete this one, and I'm saying that I'm going to write a new measure. So I say that sum, opening parentheses, and F sales. This is my table, and here I'm selecting this quantity, right? And closing parentheses, enter, right? If you pay attention here, row context is not working, you see? So this is another issue. So always, while we are using add column function, it's better to use, measure. I mean, before written measure. So what can we do? For example, we can follow the next way. For example, we can say that calculate, right? And one more closing parentheses, enter. So see, calculate helps us to implement row context issue. Also in this, add columns, while we are using add columns measure, right? So now I'm going on with a cross join function. It's also very interesting function, but however, while you are using this cross join function, we have to be very careful. Why? Because cross join function using a Cartesian combination. So all possible combinations are included while we are using this function. What I mean here, so let me show it, let me demonstrate it. So table cross join equals, I'm going to use a cross join. So here I'm using, my tables. My first table is going to be just say D products, example values. Here I'm going to use my values, D products. And let's say that I'm interested in my categories and the closing parentheses. And the second tables is going to be, say, my calendar months, right? Actually, what can we do? Let's add one more values here, say calendar, my calendar months, closing parentheses, enter. And here I'm going to close these parentheses and enter. Just have a look. Okay, here I have all my months with years. Actually, my sales data covers 3-year sales data, 2016, 17, and 18. And last 3 months in 18 year is not included here. And here I have my, say, a category, right? Okay, now I can use, say, my add columns function, shift enter. I'm saying add columns, closing parent, shift enter once again, and comma, and I'm going to add sales, and I'm saying total, say F sales, right? Closing parentheses and enter. Thus, we'll see that using this cross join and also add columns, we built a beautiful table where we showed all the possible combination of months and product category, and also with their sale number, right? Come back to say cross join add columns, and also I remember about the second difference between values and distinct. But now I'm glad to show you, to demonstrate you another DAX function. It's called all. So different purposes of using this all function, but let's make a new table and let's understand what can be another purpose of using all function. I'm saying table all equals, here I say all, and I'm going to write just simply the stores, right? Closing parentheses. And this all function returns me all the, say, necessary information related to all stores. Let's say that I'm interested in these stores, say city, right? Closing parentheses, enter. As I will get the unique values of seats where my stores are available, right? So here we should consider that all function always gives us output of real meeting combinations, right? So for example, let's say that all, for example, let's see, these are all my stores. I mean, seats where my stores are located. We can add one more column, for example, and we can say that the store, store name, right? Closing parentheses. Let's understand here. You will see that I have my city with all the possible store names, right? That's perfect. Now let's go back and let's say that we are interested in building our sales budget for upcoming year, right? So here I'm going to use my I'm going to use my cross join add columns and also values function, and also I will use same period last year function. So how to do it? So let's make a new table, and I'm going to call my measure like sales plan, right? Equals, and here I'm going to add, first of all, I'm going to use, say, a cross join. Why? Because as my sales plan are going to be built based on all my stores, so I'm interested in all possible combinations of my stores, between my stores, and also calendar months. Okay, calendar date. So to do it, I'm saying cross join. Here, first table is going to be calendar. Actually, I'm going to use values, right? And calendar months, right? Closing parentheses. And the second one is going to be values, opening parentheses, and it's going to be the stores, the store, and store ID, right? closing parentheses, enter. That's perfect. Here we can see all the possible combinations with calendar months and my store IDs. So next step is to add my sales, current sales, to these combinations. So to do it, I'm going to use my add column function, right? I say comma, with enter, I'm going to say sales, right? And here I'm going to add my total sales if, closing parentheses, enter. That's perfect. Okay. Okay, but we are interested in making our sales, budget for upcoming year. So how to do it? So let's imagine that we plan to make our sales, to expect our sales in, in 20% of increase. So what does it mean? We say that for example, 2019 year, in January, it will be, our sales will be 20% more than in comparison with the previous one. So here, I'm going to do some changes in my files. Calculation. So first of all, I say that in this case, first of all, I'm interested in previous year sales, right? So I'm going to change my column like same period last year. And regarding total sales if measure, I'm going to use calculate, right? My expression is going to be total sales if measure. Let me delete these closing parentheses, comma, and I'm interested in previous year sales. So for this purpose, I'm using same period last year, and here I'm going to add my calendar data, right? Closing parentheses, one more closing parentheses, enter. There is no data, it's very normal. Why? Because this is the start date of our activities. But if we come here, we'll see that in from January 2017, we have a previous period, sales, right? And we mentioned that we expect 20% more than, increasing. So for this purpose, I'm going to add here 1.2 times by this one. That's perfect. And it's going to add 20%, right? Increasing. Okay, that's great. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm saying that actually, I have to make some changes here. So my changes is that I'm going to change this one. I say that my budget, sales budget, its budget like 20%, right? And here it's going to call like budget plus 20%, right? So let me change it. Budget. Okay, that's perfect. Okay. Now what I would like to do, I would like to now understand, to visualize what's going on, right? So to do it, first of all, I have to come to my, middle part of my, Power BI file. Here, I should find this one, okay? Let me bring it here. And what I'm just going to do, let me also change this name, it's not good. Okay, now here, if you pay attention, I have my total sales by year and month, right? Let me select this one. And coming back to my budget file, table budget file. So let's find it. Okay, this one. So here I would like to see my sales and also my budget sales for upcoming year. So it means that I can add this one to here, right? Okay, nothing works, so no worry. We can solve this one. So if we come here and if we say that, okay, first of all, I have to make a relationship between my D stores, store ID, 20 columns, right? Okay, that's perfect. One-to-many relationship, it works. How? Okay, great. It doesn't work. If you remember, I told you that there were two differences between values and distinct function, right? Okay, so coming back here, if you pay attention here, we have used this values function. If I'm going to change this one, distinct, values into distinct, just let's see what's happening next. Okay, enter. So coming back here, and let's try to build a relationship between these two tables. Voila, perfect. So this was the second difference between values and distinct function. Always try just to use this distinct function, okay? And the next one is going to be, let's come back here. Nothing works yet, okay? We understand it. We understand that we have to also make a relationship between this one. A relationship has been built, but coming back again, nothing is working. So what can be the reason, right? Here, if you pay attention, let's come back here and let's understand. Let's talk a little bit about our calendar. Just pay attention. Here we have months, right? And months have been repeated more than one time. So not taking more time, not talking much more, what I'm just trying to tell you that to make the necessary relationship between these two tables, we have to have a column in this budget 20% table with unique values. So to do it, I'm coming to my budget 20% file, and here I'm going to say add one more column. So I'm deleting one closing parentheses, say comma, and between double quotes I say date for link, comma, and here I'm going to say calculate. And as for my expression, I can use either minimum or maximum function to get unique values per each month. So now we'll understand it. So I'm going to say calendar and calendar date, closing parentheses. Let's say one more and one more. Enter. Okay, if you pay attention here, just have a look. In January, for example, I have 1st of January, 1st of February. Now I'm going to change this one from date time to date one. And here, let's also change this one. For example, let's go on with this one. And coming back here, I'm double clicking on it. So I'm selecting this one. And let's see, okay. Let me cancel this one, and I'm going to delete this one. Yes, and once again, I'm going to make a new relationship, right? Yes, save. Voila, everything is perfect, and now I see my sales with my budget sales. Right, that's correct. Okay. I would like to cover a lot. The next step is going to talk about my, calendar. There are a lot of ways to build calendar. For myself, I'm always using Canvas method. I find it very useful. And also there are written code written by Melissa De Corte. It's open source, material. I mean, code. You can get it and you can build your calendar. But we can also use some DAX functions to build our, calendar. For example, we can use just simply, using DAX function. Now I'm going to use this one, for example, table, and I'm going to call it calendar T1. closing parentheses, and I'm going to use, using a calendar function. And as for start date, for example, it's going to be minimum date of my selling date in my F sales transactional file. So I'm saying minimum, and I say F sales and date, right? Closing parentheses, comma. As for end date, I'm going to use maximum function, and it's going to be F sales shipping date, right? Closing parentheses, enter. Thus, we get our table, right? That's the first method. Also, we can just simply say use calendar auto function. The auto function calendar T2, for example, calendar auto opening and closing parentheses. So based on the first date in your model table, it will generate the calendar table. For example, it seems that this is the first date in my table. It's very normal, right? Also, we can add here, for example, 6. If I'm not mistaken, in or 7, sorry. For example, in USA, the calendar year begins as of July, right? In Australia, it's the same, if I'm not mistaken. Or we can simply type, for example, 12, right? In our country, it's 12. I mean, fiscal year ends in December. Or you can just leave it, say, blank, and it will give you the necessary, it will give you the necessary output, right? So now I'm going to talk a little bit about other way. I'm going to use add columns, also row and generate function to build my calendar. So for this purpose, first of all, I'm saying calendar function. And here, just simply, I'm using minimum, okay, F sales, date, closing parentheses, and maximum F sales. And here, I'm going to use my shipping date. Okay, that's now, it works now. So also, I would like to add other columns to this table, right? It's possible. So for this purpose, we can use which function? We can use, of course, add column function, right? So, comma, for me, I'm going to add my year, right? So between double quotes, I say year, comma, and I'm going to use my year function, and I'm going to make my year based on this column. So for this purpose, square bracket, I say date, closing parentheses, comma. My next column is going to be months, okay? And here I'm going to use format function. My value is going to be date, right? Comma, and my format is going to be months. Okay, let's make it bigger. Upper apostrophe year, and this is going to be between double quotes, right? And closing parentheses, comma, shift enter, and last one is going to be months sorting, right? And here also I'm going to use my format function, square bracket, date, comma. As for format, I'm going to use MMM, or let's say year, MM. Closing parentheses, one more, enter. So let's see what's happening. If you pay attention, there is some mistake. I can add one more y. Okay, it works perfectly. Everything is perfect, right? So this is another way of building calculates. But also, it's not, generally used one, but we can also use other function like generate and also say row function to build our calendar. So I'm going to make a copy and say home new table and Control V. I'm going to call it like 3. And here I'm going to delete this add column function. I'm going to replace it with generate. Okay, calendar, this one is okay. Here I'm going to add one more row where I will include my row function, right? Let's see what's happening. Okay, shift enter. Enter. Let's see if everything works perfectly. Yes, that's also works perfectly. Great. Okay, we have, I hope, some time. I'm going to use a little bit, talk a little bit about calculate function. I hope I will be able to only cover calculate with user relationship function. So let's go back to our canvas. And here, let me add one page, and I'm going to call it calculate and user relationship, right? Okay, so let's say that we have a table, okay, where I'm going to display or demonstrate my dates with sold quantities, right? So for this purpose, or by the way, let's come here. What can we do? Let me come here. Let me hide this one. These are not going to be available in my model. So just be patient for a while, please. Okay, yeah, a little bit left. And roughly, approximately the last one. Perfect. Coming back here, I think that I have my calendar, right? I have my calendar. This is going to be my date. It's very normal, nothing, we can get rid of this one. Okay, so say date, right? And I'm going to add my, total sold quantities, right? Here I see my total quantities, right? But I would like to add my, also quantities, right? It's for now, it's not available. If I'm going to make a copy of this table, and here, let's say I'm going to change this date. Actually, the date was the correct one. Okay, because this is the selling date. And one more, copy. And here, I'm going to add, from F sales transactional table. I beg your pardon. Here I made a mistake. Sorry. This date must not come from a calendar. It must come from here. Yeah, now it works correctly. But here, I'm going to add my, which date, shipping date. Just pay attention. For example, on 1st of January 2016, I sold this amount of money, but I shipped this quantity of goods, right? So let me make a little bit, move this one here. And I'm going to add, to work on this table. So here I have my date, which is com from calendar. Here I have my total sold quantity. And to bring my shipped quantities, I have to do something. First of all, let's come back here. We should know that there is only one way, one active relationship between tables, right? So if we pay attention here, I have one active relationship between my date from calendar F sales and calendar one, right? But its dotted one is not active, right? There is relationship between my shipping date and also date column of calendar table, right? So I have to write a formula, DAX formula, which will make active this one, right? So to do it, I'm coming to my key measures and I'm saying a new measure, and I'm going to call my new measure total shipped quantity. If I'm not mistaken, I have this measure, but let's imagine that we don't have. So for this purpose, I'm going to use calculate, and my expression is going to be total sold quantity, right? Comma, and to create my relationship between these two tables, I'm going to use relationship function, right? Here, what I'm just going to do, first column should come from calendar date, right? Comma, the second one should come from FCS transactional table, so-called shipping date, right? Let's see, enter. Voila. I hope we done it. We did it. Yes. So coming back here and say, and now what I can do, I can add my total shipped quantity. Thus, I see in one table relationship, I mean table visual, my date that come from my calendar, and also I can see my sold quantity for this date and also my shipped quantity. Okay, now 46 minutes have been left. Actually, there are a lot of things to cover. What I planned to cover calculate with all function, and also some time intelligence functions, but I hope its time is over. So I hope all the necessary materials are subject to share, where you can get the necessary information about the topics that I didn't cover in this session. So that's all from my side. Here I'm just stop sharing, and I'm back. Please.
Thanks, Ilgar. Very nice presentation. As I'm on a learning journey for DAX, I can really relate to what you've done, and it's really helpful, those functions. I may get back to you for some further questions, honey.
Okay.
Over to Miles.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Ilgar.
Yes,
we've just got a couple of questions here for you. So the first question we've got is, how can the summarize function be used to create intermediate tables for advanced calculations in Power BI?
Okay, this is a great question. Summarize and summarize columns functions are aggregating functions, table function in Power BI. And these functions are using for summarization purpose. So actually, I'm, I don't understand the intermediate level or advanced level, but this is a little bit out of scope. So what I can do, I'm doing with summarize function. I'm just using for summarization purpose. That's it. I'm not sure whether it's answer to your question or not, but yeah, summary and summary columns function are used for this purpose. And these are also, say, table functions. Yes.
Okay. Another question we've got here. What are the best practices for using add columns in combination with other DAX functions to manipulate data tables?
Yeah, this is also a good question. And as I mentioned, add columns is one of the best, DAX functions that I use. You can use add columns for different purposes. For example, you can use this function with cross join, but you have to be very careful. Okay. You can use add columns for building calendar. It means that you can use it with, say, a calendar function also. So these are the, or you can use add column function for building your sales budget. You see, so these are the real samples cases where you can use at columns function.
Awesome, thank you. And the last question we've got is, what are the advantages and risks of using natural inner join in DAX for combining tables with implicit relationships?
It's much more, if I'm not mistaken, in the capacity of my understanding, it's much more related to other topic. Relationship, it's related to matching. I don't think that I'm able to answer to this question, so sorry for this, because it's out of this topic.
That's all right. Anyway, oh wait, hold on. Looks like we have another question. What is the best way to refer to a column in a virtual table in the next calculation? From Talia.
You can, if I understood the question correctly, you can virtually reference to the tables using some DAX function. For example, you can use treat as function for virtual filtering, right? Not making any relationship between the tables. So this is my answer.
Okay, thank you very much. That seems to be all the questions we've got today. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Wish you all the best. So have a great day. Actually, it's not day, it's evening time in your country.
It's evening time in our country, yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Best of luck.
Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Bye.